Barrie's market was awful for March, Mark, and Innisfil is even worse.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised, right? Just too many chaotic things going on in the world right now. We have election coming up in a few weeks. We have tariffs to deal with. We have unemployment concerns. We have what happens if their partners lose a job. And, as we talked about before in other videos, where there's 100,000, manufacturing jobs in the automotive sector in Ontario and 144 indirectly tied to that. That's a bit scary, and we're already seeing the layoffs. So we're in uncertainty times right now. We're not seeing, we're seeing some sales still being done, yeah, and I think we'll continue to see some sales, but not many. Let's be
No.
honest. We're not going to see, we're seeing, 50, 60, 70 listings on our boards typically every day. And we may see five or six, seven, eight solds in Barrie, a couple in
Mhm.
Innisfil. We're not so that's a concern. And then the concern is too, is with the amount of inventory levels that we're currently sitting at. And then we're coming into different months where we normally see more listings coming up for the spring market. I think we're going to see over 1,000 easily, 1,000, 1,100 listings by May or June.
In Barrie, but in Innisfil, the inventory levels obviously they're less because less
Yes.
population there, right?
Yeah. But I think this is your this is across, central Ontario, GTA markets. We're gonna feel some things.
Yeah. So here's the numbers. March last year, 78 sales, 43 this year.
45% down over sales. That's the
Yeah.
number. That's shoot, we gotta yeah. I think we go back and get some numbers later on to see what last year. We have some anyway. Yeah, like that. Those are big numbers. That's big. It's
I,
huge.
it's huge. And I don't know. I know we don't like the average sale price too much, but
No.
last year the average of the 78 was 967, and this year we're down to 884.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's just the average. So viewers, that's just of all the properties sold in that given month, that was the average divided by the number of sales.
yeah. The thing is that's kind of funny with Innisfil is in January we had 205 actives. Last year, 293, so we were up 30%.
Yeah.
Then we in February 233 last year, 309 this year. It was down 25 to 25% more. Last year 280, this year 363, so we're up 23%.
In inventory, available inventory. Yeah.
Yeah, the inventory, it seems like they're not coming up as much as they are in Barrie.
No, Barry's much bigger community, so that's to be expected, right? And then when we go down the where the sales were and the inventory levels in Innisfil, lots when we look at some of those, we know the price points well in those categories, and we're gonna, you know what I mean? There's a
See,
lot of
look
it,
at it, look at Barrie.
right? Can't really compare the two, but it's double digits, right? And once we go through the Innisfil numbers and see where the sales are, there's a ton of listings over 1 million and above in that community,
Oh,
right?
there is. There
And
is. I
just
mean,
selling.
I was just shocked at like that's a big drop.
It's a big drop. It's a big drop. And we can't say, well, we don't have the right inventory. No, there's lots of inventory. So,
Yeah.
my question is going to be is, I think it's going to swing more to I know we've been seeing the last couple of years where it's more of sellers sticking to their guns on price, but that doesn't work. We can't create a market for an overpriced property and hope to sell it. That just doesn't work.
No, and I think in Innisfil you see a lot of the newer subdivisions are really, really nice detached, high-priced homes.
Not selling.
Well, and that is probably where the market like it's going to be a harder sell because it's higher mortgage, higher price range, and how many people can afford that right now?
Right. And then how many people are sitting on the sidelines going, I'm going to wait a while because I think the prices are going to drop because we're in uncharted waters right now. We don't know what's going to take place economically around the
Hmm.
globe and how we're going to be impacted. Anyway, let's do a little blurb before we continue on. So, channel definitely hit the subscribe button. It's important for the algorithms, and we love the information that we're providing. And there's two links at the beginning of our descriptions. One's for free home evaluation, understanding what the valuation is all about. Click the link. And if someone's looking to be a buyer in Simcoe County and area, in Innisfil, Barrie, etc., click that link. We'd love to help you out. All right.
I have, yeah, then there's like little information packages. So between 5 and 6, there was only 6 active listings, 2 sold. Last year, 4 sold.
Yeah.
So it is a 50% drop,
Yes.
but there's also like barely anything listed.
Correct. And that's always been in that price range for the last few years in the community, right?
Yeah, and 6 and 7 were kind of in the same. There was 15 active,
Yeah.
11 sales last year, only 2 this year.
Yeah. Small inventory numbers, but when we look at from what's selling in that range, give me one second. Let's get out of this. Um, 13% of the inventory is selling from 6 to 7, right? That's the other
Well,
86.
and once we're gone through these, I'm going to pull up the board between 6 and 7.
Yeah, let's look at it. I wouldn't
Well,
mind.
I just want to see like, is it vacant land? Is it like,
Yep, that's
because in
good.
that price range, usually they sell.
Yeah, yeah, low price point.
Yeah, so I thought I'd check,
Everything is
we'll check
down,
that.
even in other markets that we're seeing in Simcoe County, like Barrie, for instance, we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah,
Lower have slowed down. The market has slowed down,
yeah.
and we know why.
And
So,
before, like the lower ranges would at least keep going, but right now they're not. So between 7 and 8, 33 listings. 9 sold last year, 8 this year.
yeah,
What's funny is 8 to 9, 44 listings, 12 this year, 9 last year. It actually increased in the 8 to 9 category.
wow, wow.
But this is what's horrifying.
Yeah,
9 to a million, 52 actives, 3 sold last year, 12,
6% of the inventory is selling. That's
down
it.
75%.
94% isn't selling in that range. What advice would I tell a seller today saying I want to list my home? And I had one I just before we hopped in the video.
Well, if you don't have to sell right now, I wouldn't.
Well, that was a bit of the conversation, but pricing it properly. And when we went through the listings together and we did a video, I did a video and sent to him, most of them were doing the same thing. Oh, let me go back. They've been listed since July and they finally sell in November and February. Most of them.
Yeah,
Right for 5 or 6 months then to get these higher prices. Can't create a market for a high price home today. Buyers are not willing to pay it.
no.
So if someone's thinking of listing in the spring, I'm telling you right now, make sure you're priced correctly for the market you're in.
So over a million, 149 actives.
Oh boy.
Only 12 sold, 31 last year.
Hate to
61% down.
61% down in sales and only and 92% of the inventory is not selling. That's crazy. And if we always talk about these high range in the community because that's what mainly the community is made up of, price points in that area. But wow, I wouldn't want to have my listing in that 149 group.
It's huge, eh?
It's huge. It's
Huge. Yeah, so
so
I want to look between this, what were we saying, the 6 to 7, because I
just
don't understand.
so like
Well, I just don't understand in that price range. Normally, you're gonna see a lot of sales. Well, unless the 6 to 7 that we pull up here are horrifying or
yeah.
there's something wrong with them. We still have 15 of them.
Okay. Fewer vacant land, more. Let's go 600K. That's a nice looking townhouse.
That's Parkbridge, Manamy.
What is it?
It's those ones off Sandy Cove.
Is there a comment fee in that thing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Is there?
2-year
That
rent freeze on land lease fees.
okay, so that's why it's on a slab too. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, it's that new subdivision off the 20th or 25th side road, and Matamy's buying them.
Hmm.
Mattamy bought them, and they're like adjacent to kind of where Sandy Cove is, right across the road.
It's so good. But you, again, they're 600K, but you don't own the land, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a lot of money. Let's be honest.
They're very tight together.
I see that. Yeah. I wonder how long that's been. 41 days. What's the history of like that's big.
Yeah. Well, it's only two bed. Two bed, one bath. I don't know. They were at 530. Now they're at 6. So I don't know what happened there.
What are the 530 inventory, the listing? I'm kind of curious about days on market. I'm kind of curious why did we increase the price in this market?
Hold on. Gracie, why are you doing this to me?
5 days in the market.
35 days.
Or the bottom. So it didn't say
Oh,
35 days, but we're
no,
gonna
because the land lease is $800 a month.
okay.
And now on the next one, they gave the land lease free for 2 years, a year or two or something. So they built that into the price.
Yeah, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
That's
they did that somebody can buy it and not pay for a couple years, right?
expensive. What's the taxes, Dan?
There isn't, it's not assessed
Okay.
because brand new, right?
Yeah,
Can you hear this dog?
that's okay.
Um, Emily Street's a little street over by
Yeah,
639.9.
it's fine.
It's
It's
very
like
small.
it's forever. I remember seeing it many
It's cute. It's by the water.
times. Not that price point cute. A long time.
Hmm. On the market 29 days.
Yeah, if you go back and many times, it's got some history to it. There we go. Listed it back in 2022.
Well, no, yeah, but it got taken off the market, I think.
And so it's been listed since September for 649. Then we
Yeah.
raised the price to 650. Then we go back to 649. It's going nowhere.
Well,
No.
now they're down to, yeah, they haven't, that's the thing that I'm seeing. Like they don't, okay, St. John Side Road, 649, 3 bed, one bath.
Yeah.
Again, a little small one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
good Lord.
I love the pictures. They're sized properly. Yeah. That's a busy street. It's too much money. Show's nice, but it's too much money.
Small.
Oh, yeah.
No basements in these. They're like converted cottages, right?
So it's fair enough to say a bit of the inventory is not the right inventory.
Well, the thing is, Mark, a couple years, like, I don't know, a couple years ago at 649, these things were flying off the shelf. Like they were getting more than that.
A couple years ago. Totally different market now,
Yeah. 650, 2 bed, one bath.
right? It's too much money right now.
This is like another little cottagey one.
Yeah. There's your heat source.
Hmm. I mean, they're basically better for cottages than because for
Yeah.
this price you can buy a townhouse and bury a 3 bedroom townhouse, right?
Yeah, you can. Can.
So like it's like a little cottage. It's cute and whatever for that, but it's tight.
It's tight.
Two
Yep.
plus one bed, one plus one bath, 655.
It's very small. 7 to 1100 square feet. Detached. I think the price is great. Small. Young couple. Could work.
Not bad.
Price point seems okay for detached,
Yeah,
right?
for Innisfil. Like Innisfil's higher than Barrie, just so people know.
Small though, but it's done nice.
Cute.
But it's that first timer young couple.
Yeah. Finished basement.
It shows well. How many days on market?
Ooh, big yard. 22.
Hmm.
Well, that's it. 22.
Yeah,
And this is the original price.
yeah. Okay.
That's a good price for that in Innisfil.
Not bad. Yeah.
Fill it fully detached.
I think it's hard to find that buyer, right? In this kind of a market. Price is good, but you're narrowing down your buyer group.
I'm shocked at that one though. Because see here where you're back. This is a 4 bedroom, 1 bath, 655 Killarney Beach Road, very busy road, cottage again.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're back to the little cottage. But there was a whole bunch of agents and investors that bought these little cottages and did this
Yeah.
and are trying to sell them for more money. Like there was a bunch of them I was showing for one with one of my clients. Started at 680.
You started higher than that, seven. Look, 749 in March last year.
Markets all the way to 2022.
It's never selling. Not that price.
It's crazy.
You can't create a market for oversold properties today. If you can, they'd be all sold.
Well, this one on Rankin Way, I sold one on Rankin Way, and they're pretty nice townhouses, 3 bed, 2 bath, 674.9. They're not that old.
It's just decent.
Small.
A little high, I think, 674.
Yeah.
How many days? 8 days in the market.
8.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. And I think buyers are going to dig their heels in, Dan. They're going to go, here's what I think it's worth. I don't know with the unknowns, and this is what I'm willing to pay now. Because we're not seeing a lot of sales.
Start at 739.
So when did it start that way? So let's look back at that. I think this is important for a viewer to see this. So we started it back
September
November,
24.
November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 8 months. 8 months. That's 240 days, Diane, on the market. We can't create a market. It's
Well, the
just
other thing is they're still only at 674.
it's got to come
Like
down.
it's not like they've dropped like well, there's been a few price changes here, but
Not much,
for
not enough
eight
to back it all.
well, for 8 months, not a lot.
Yeah, and I think that property at best is 49. That's what it goes.
Like
Shows
it
what.
went down to 719 within a month and a half. And then it didn't change again until March
Yeah,
3rd.
yeah. They still got some way to go down.
Yeah, it stayed at the same price for 4 or 5 months.
And I think, if someone wants to move the property today in these uncharted waters, as I say, price better be sharp.
Hate, price decrease. Started at they tried to rent it out. Started at 925. That can't be right.
Well, you would think it can't be right, but it's
That was
there.
in 2023.
Thinking.
699. Like they did some cute things,
Yeah, it shows well.
but it's not big.
It's not big.
It
Look
has
at
a
this.
basement apartment.
Yeah.
I think Kate's a nice location though, isn't it?
I do like the street. I do. Yeah, I do.
You can if you walk right down to the end, isn't there the lake there?
What did 12 days in the market?
No, it's been on the market forever.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this new price though. Okay, so it was on there before, then we just price decreased it by, I don't think the price decreased it.
Well, it's saying price decrease, but I don't see one.
I don't see one. It's a fake one. Um, yeah. It's tough. It's tough to motivate buyers to, you know,
Well, it also looks like they tried to sell it a couple times, but then they rented it.
yeah, yeah. So those, does it still show that well? Who knows? There could be old pictures. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seen that
And this
happen.
is the last one.
So fair to say that there's just not a lot of inventory in that 6 to 7 range is worthwhile. So, because it is a lower range for the community, but there's lots of those small little tiny cottages that were fixed up, and trying to create a market for 650 and above for them is pretty tough.
Well, and like I said a few years ago, that they were shoo-ins. Like I had clients looking up to 750 and in 2023, and you couldn't even find something livable at 650. Like it wasn't livable.
Not back then. No,
No.
not at all.
I mean, they're small, they're cute, but they're livable.
Yeah, but there's just buyers have some options today too, right? I mean, I'm shocked how much the sales are at 45% in that community. You know, we know where the bulk of the inventory is, higher ranges that are not selling. I know if there was more inventory in that lower range that we just, went through for the viewers, we'd see some more sales in that lower range, just the wrong inventory. It's fair to say,
Well,
right?
most of them, I mean, we saw one or two that had like basements. The rest were cottages, right?
That's right. Right. I think the best one was that detached for what, 655
On
on
Kensington. Yeah.
it's a price point small, but well done. I mean,
I'm fully detached and
yeah,
garage and
yeah,
because that's
yeah,
another thing a lot of those little cottagey things have. They might have a garage, but they're not attached. They're detached
right,
if they
right,
even have one.
correct. So no. Well, I think we did a good job on those numbers, present some information. Anybody want some more information on Innisfil? Drop us a comment or give us a call or send us an email.
Perfect.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah.